Over the past few weeks, I've seen a lot of charts floating around social media talking about how Canada's GDP has only grown up by 0.5%, should I say. And even with that 0.5%, many people are thinking, that's still a lot better than countries such as Serbia, because Canada, United States, a lot of these big brand countries or legacy brand countries, they are known for being the best and where you can actually create a good life. However, times have changed. People are seeing that the numbers are misleading, that the numbers are not actually factual. And today we're going to talk about how Canada, a once prosperous country, is no longer one of the top ones to go to for a better life, and how Serbia is coming out front ahead of most of these legacy brand countries. Now, one thing we have to talk about is GDP. So a lot of people are getting things confused between GDP and GDP per capita. Now, GDP on its own is the growth of a country altogether. However, GDP per capita, to get the exact definition here, is the measure of how much economic output grows per person, which is much closer to what talks to you about when it comes to standard of living. And I broke down a number of numbers here when it comes not just Serbia and Canada, but we're going to look at countries all around the world and see how they fare in comparison to what Serbia is doing. Because a lot of people that don't know about Serbia, they don't know about the standard of living here. They don't understand the growth potential that Serbia has or that Serbia is seeing. Heck, we got Expo 2027 coming here. The new high-speed train systems are being launched into Budapest and into Vienna in the next coming weeks here. So if you're watching this, in the future, we're talking February type of things, 2026, that they're going to be opening up those lines into Budapest. So you can go right from the capital of Belgrade all the way into Budapest and then into Vienna, Austria as well. The next leg of that chapter is going to be going through North Macedonia, down to Thessaloniki, Greece, and finishing off in Athens. So there's going to be a huge corridor. It's going to bring in a lot of growth into Serbia. And so when we're looking at GDP on its own, we have to look at why is Canada the perfect example. So over the last decade, Canada's total GDP did grow, but that was because they had a huge, or should I say, a massive population growth. And this was due to the fact of high-scale immigration into the country. That doesn't mean that the standard of living for people in Canada is getting better. Real estate prices soared, food prices soared. Inflation was and still is in 2027 sky high there, and a lot of this was done post 2020. We know what was going on around 2020, and when you look at that, that's where the GDP in itself grew, was just simply through mass immigration. And if you look at, or if you're someone who is from Canada, like myself, I moved to Serbia many years ago here to this beautiful country, and I've never looked back. But for someone who, like myself, who's lived and was born in Canada and saw, over the years how Canada has changed, you can see just by walking around that it's very hard to find someone that is simply Canadian there anymore. It's always immigrants, and it's changed the face of the country. But now, if you're getting into GDP per capita for Canada, we have to look at that directly as what it is. So roughly, in the past 10 years, Canada's GDP per capita has grown around 0.5%. And that is absolutely unacceptable numbers, and that's roughly about 0.1 or 0.2% per year. And that is just straight facts. That's not something that, is just dreamed up here. But I reran some numbers and got some definitions down so that everyone can see exactly what the numbers are explaining here. So real GDP per capita, we're going to look at inflation adjusted, we're going to look at the 10-year window. So if you look at all the countries between 2014 and 2024, so the last 10 years, well, now it'd be 11. I didn't look at 2025, even though we're at the beginning stages of 2026. We're going to look at the results of the GDP per capita. And we have, what do we have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 countries. Canada is the worst out of all of them. So GDP per capita in Canada, the last 10 years is around plus 2%. Germany is plus 6%. United Kingdom plus 7%. But now they got some other problems there. We're seeing a lot of our clients coming in here from the UK simply because of the amount of taxes, especially those wealthy individuals that are potentially looking for residency here to set up their business so they're not taxed to death, or that are looking for citizenship by merit. Australia is at plus 9%, and these are all around numbers, not exact. France is at 9, Sweden is at 9, Italy is at plus 14, Spain is at plus 17, United States is plus 20% GDP per capita. Let me give you a second to think, what is Serbia? Well, Serbia is plus 50%, and that's looking pretty good. So Serbia is number one when you look at North America by and large. And this isn't opinion, this isn't marketing, these are straight facts. So why is Serbia looking strong here? Well, Serbia started from a lower base and had a moderate population growth. We've seen a lot of our clients come in here that are foreigners, and all of our clients that we work with are foreigners, or people who are looking to move back, who once left Serbia, saw the changes in their countries like I did myself and decided to move back. So they're bringing money with them here. Or individuals who are descendants of Serbian citizens are looking for Serbian citizenship by descent. So we're seeing a lot of foreign investment into Serbia here. You can see that with a lot of the real estate here, the different businesses that we are opening up for clients as well. We also have the benefit of nearshoring, and the costs and taxes here are very competitive and are much lower than a lot of these other countries. So you have a 10% income tax here, you have a 15% corporate rate, and these are all flat rate taxes. Unlike Canada, where I come from, the more you make, the more you're taxed. Doesn't matter if it's on you as an employee or as a corporation. I ran a business for many years in Canada and find it a lot easier and a lot simpler to run a business here in Serbia. And for my foreigners who are like, well, if I start a business in Serbia, that means I have to find my clientele in Serbia. You can open up a business. Most of our clients here that come from overseas open up a business here in Serbia and work with international clients, which is beautiful. Being that Serbia is, in the middle of the East and West, you still have good time zones here. So I can work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here and hit up the East Coast, right? And then I could also start here at 9 o'clock in the morning and hit up the, should I say, East Coast USA or North America. If I start at 9 o'clock in the morning, I can hit up a lot of the Asian countries and have my meetings with clients from that part of the world. So it's really flexible in that sense. And so if you're looking for online business or anything like that, it's really good to do. And then Serbia also avoided the extreme demographic pressure seen in the West. So we don't have a huge influx of people that are coming here to live off the government system, which I think is a good thing. There's not many government benefits here if you are a foreigner, unlike the UK, France, other Canada, where you come in there, have a bunch of children, and the government, pays for your life in essence. And so why this matters for you if you're looking to relocate to Serbia. So this really works for entrepreneurs, remote workers, or families looking for stability. I love having a family here. I love running a business here. And I think it's one of the best decisions I made for our family is to move to Serbia. One, the food is better, people are healthier here, the sense of freedom is better. You have a more of a relaxed lifestyle here. If anyone knows about Balkan life, it's really about, enjoying life, sitting out at the kafanas, having a good meal, not being rushed out of a restaurant, so you can sit there and chat for hours and not have to worry about the server coming to rush you out of that either. And because the GDP per capita is growing here in Serbia, you're going to have rising productivity, improving wages over time. So if you are a foreigner coming to Serbia, the wages here are still fairly low. But the thing is, and this is where I use it to my advantage, and I see a lot of our clients that are setting up businesses here, they're paying above average wages here. And one, they're getting really good workers. Two, they're getting workers that are going to stay there. And I like that I'm able to pay my employees a higher wage here because they're happier when they're working too. For those in Canada, you could be doing $35, $40 an hour, and so that's not making ends meet even at that rate. The infrastructure investment here is really scaling, especially when it comes to AI. I mentioned in one of our previous videos, Serbia is going to be in the top 20% of all countries around the world, leading the path in AI. And there's a huge long-term economic momentum here in Serbia as well. We are seeing that our people are coming into Serbia this year in 2026. We are really booked right now, even here at the end of January. February is packed. Because what they're looking to do is come in here and invest and set up shop before the World Fair next year, or should I say Expo 2027, which they believe have 109 signed up countries. Serbia just signed an agreement with an American company to have flying taxis here as well. We have good relationships with a lot of countries from like Russia, China, down in the Middle East, and including Western countries. And the biggest one is that we are not in the EU, which is what I think is the big draw for people looking to come here. So what I'm thinking here is Serbia doesn't need hype. It's going to just prove themselves over time. We're not marketed like these big legacy countries. If you are in one of these legacy countries, United States, Canada, you Google Serbia, it's painted really badly. And it has strong fundamentals here, real economic convergence, and the momentum that most Western countries once had and no longer have. And I think that's what many are looking for these days.